What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be ranking college basketball teams. I wanted to do all of D1. I said I might do that, but then I realized there's like 300 teams in it. But I didn't just want to do Power 5 because I already did that. So I have all these teams. So we have way more than we did last time. So we got to get straight into this. This is all of the mid-majors. So not just Power 5. We have West Coast Conference, all those little ones. We have all of those, the independents. We have all of those in here. And before we get started, let's go over the categories. We have championship favorites. These are the best of the best. There should not be many in there. These are the teams that everyone is picking to win the whole thing. Then we have deep runs, teams that could make a deep run, maybe Sweet 16, maybe Elite 8 in March Madness. Then we have sneaky good teams. They're solid. They might get in at like an 8 or 9 seed somewhere in that area, and maybe they could win a couple games. Then we have bubble teams. These are teams on the bubble. They're either just out of it or just in it right now. Then we have okay year, but they are gonna miss the. These are okay years, but they have not a very good chance of making March Madness. Then we had rough year, and they're not in March Madness. They had a very down year, but they're not quite as bad as Dog Water, which means they were absolutely terrible. They're the bottom of the barrel team. And starting off, we have the Cincinnati Bearcats. Okay, they're not in March Madness. I believe they're 16 and 12. I would put 16 and 12 should probably go in. I mean, since they got over 500, I think we put them in okay year here. Eastern Carolina, they're 14 and 14 right now in a pretty bad conference, to be honest. I think they go right with Cincinnati there. Now we have Houston. Okay, Houston, I think they should definitely be champ favorites. They've been at number one a couple times this year, and I think they might still be at number one if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think they are. Next, we have a team I really like. We have the Memphis Tigers. They're 21 and 8. They're in March Madness by quite a bit. 21 and 8, a very good record. They're not in the top 25, but they're not really on the bubble either. So I would put them in sneaky good, I think is a solid category there. There's our list so far, and we got SMU up next. SMU is 19 and 19, and they're in the American Athletic Conference, so an easier conference for them. But 19 and 9, that would probably put them on the bubble, I would guess, even though they are in an easier conference. Next up, we have Temple, who's 11 and 17 right now. They are on a 3-game winning streak, so they might get a couple extra points there. Realistically, it was a rough year to be 6 games below 500. Not very good. Now, Tulane is 1 spot ahead of Temple in their division. Temple's 14th and Tulane is 13th. But they're still going to be a rough year. They've only won 1 more game than Temple. They're very similar teams, in my opinion. Now we have Tulsa, and I'm trying to figure out how this guy made this, because I didn't make this tier list. Some other guy made it. And I think he's going by conference, is what I'm thinking, because all 3 of these teams are all in the American Athletic. And Temple, who we ranked for first, was in 14th, and Tulane was in 13th, and Tulane is in 12th. So realistically, we just do that, because that's pretty much how it is. UCF is 15 and 12, and would that put them on the bubble? I don't think it quite would. And yeah, I think we should put them in okay year because their chances of making the tournament are very slim because they have 3 games left, and their next 2 is number 8 Iowa State and then number 1 Houston. So I think the tournament is off the table for them, but it is not off the table for South Florida, who's on a 13-game win streak, secured a spot in March Madness. Sneaky good, I think, might be a good spot for them. Somehow, I don't believe they are in the top 25. They're number 1 in their conference right now. They're like 21 and 6 or something. They're very, very good. Now we have Wichita State, another AAC team, and they are having a pretty rough year. I don't think they would quite be dog water. No, I would put them right there in rough year with a lot of other AAC teams. So, whoops, North Carolina is not going in yet, and they will not be in dog water. I promise you that. Now we have Boston College, who's just a couple games under 500. I think I would put them in okay year, I think. And it looks like we're staying in the ACC for a long time, actually. And Clemson is here on the bubble. They are right on the bubble. I know the ACC from the back of my hand, I guess, is what you would say. Now we have Duke. I think they're deep run or champ favorite. I think deep run is a good spot for them. I don't think anyone's really predicting them to win the whole thing, but I think they think they're going to be solid. All right, Florida State's up next. They're 15 and 13. They had, would that be an okay year or rough year? I need to know what you guys think that would be considered as. Should just barely being over 500 be an okay year because you won more games than you lost? So I think that should be that how we work that out. Georgia Tech now 12 and 16. Yeah, they're pretty bad. They're okay. They're the second to last team in the ACC, behind only this team right here, Louisville, who's 8 and 20. I made a mistake in my last video. I didn't do enough research on Louisville. Turns out they are really bad, and I ranked them in the sneaky good when we did the Power 5 rankings. So they're dog water. They're pretty much the worst team in Power 5 at least. Next up, we have Miami, Florida. They're 15 and 14, and that would put them right in the okay year. I have a feeling the okay year spot is going to be overflowed. We're going to have like 3 or 4 rows of that, just because of how many teams are around that area of just barely being around 500. So next up, we have Carolina. Okay, I'm going to put them in deep run, but Duke cannot be ahead of them. I'm a Carolina fan, so I'm a little biased, but I think everyone can agree that we are better than Duke. We beat them once. We're about to beat them again later this week. And we have the number 1 ACC spot only because we beat them head to head. Otherwise, it would be a tie. But it's very close right now in the ACC. But we have it right now. So next up is NC State. And NC State, I believe they're 17 and 11. I think that would land them a spot on the bubble, maybe ahead of SMU. 17 and 11 is a pretty good record. Maybe they could sneak into March Madness. You never know. Now, if you swap their records around, you have Notre Dame, who's 11 and 17, and I think they should go right there. In rough year, I think they don't quite have a okay year, but maybe we have a couple up there. Next up, we have Pitt. Pitt having a sneaky good year, but they're not going to go in sneaky good. They are very similar to NC State, in my opinion. They're 17 and 10, so that should probably put them ahead of NC State, I guess. 17 and 10. There's a lot of ACC teams who could maybe sneak in to March Madness. And here we have another one, just one spot ahead of Pitt. We have Syracuse, and we have 4 of our 5 bubble teams are all ACC teams, just because of how close all those teams are to just barely getting in. Most of them on the outside looking in right now. The only one that's in right now is Clemson. And there's another one in here that we're about to get to, but we are not there yet. Because first we have Virginia Tech. All right, Virginia Tech's 15 and 13. I think okay year is a good spot for them. And we have Virginia now, the best defense in the country. It's honestly a crime if Virginia does not make March Madness. They're 21 and 8. And I know the reason that they're not in it as it stands right now. It's because they only average like 55 points a game. But what they need to look at is how they only let up 49. So there you have it. I think Virginia should definitely make March Madness. Wake Forest just upset Duke earlier this week, and I honestly don't think they should be on the bubble. I'm going to put them in sneaky good because I think they are so underrated. If they don't make March Madness, I quit, bro. They need to make it. Next up, we have UAB, and they're actually not as bad as you might think. They're 18 and 10, and they're 5th in the AAC. But just because of how easy their conference is, they're probably going to get left out of March Madness. And genuinely, that would put them in okay year towards the top because their conference might be a lot easier than some of these, but they do have a better record than them. So I'm going to put them in okay year. And next up, we have Baylor, who's been okay all year long. And I think we should put them in deep run. They've been top 10 at certain times this year. They've dropped out quite a bit. They've gone down to 20. Now I think they're in the 13 area or somewhere in that area. And they're going to be in deep run. And I think we should put Iowa State with them. And I think they go ahead of Duke as well. And now we have Kansas State, who's on the bubble right now, just about as close as you can get. I think they're out of it right now, but they could definitely come back in. And now we have Kansas. I think, would they be, I don't think they're a championship favorite. I think maybe towards the beginning of the year they would be. I think they're in deep run right now. So Houston's the only one in championship favorites. I know at least one other team I'm thinking of putting in there when we get there. And next up we have Oklahoma State. They're 12 and 16, but honestly I'm not going to put them in okay year. I think they should go towards the top of rough year, maybe just behind Tulsa. And now we have Oklahoma, who's had a solid year. I would put them in sneaky good. I think they're an 8 seed right now. And now we have TCU, and they're right on. So that's where I'm gonna put them here. I think they're 19-9. So maybe towards the top, because a lot of these teams have worse records than 19-9. I would put them right there between Virginia and Syracuse. Now we have Texas Tech. They're pretty much eliminated from the tournament. They took another big L the other day, and yeah, I think rough year is where they should go. Now we have Texas, who's been very good at certain times this year, but other times they've kind of fallen off a bit. But I think they're definitely in March Madness. I think they've secured a spot. They're like an 8 or 9 seed right now, so maybe sneaky good, I guess. West Virginia, genuinely could go in dog water. They were close with Kansas State the other day, but I think they need to go in dog water. Now we have Illinois, who's an okay team. I believe they're on the bubble as well. Ooh, I put them between those two right there, and now we have Indiana. And they're 15-13, so you think I would put them in okay year, but I'm actually going to put them in rough year because they're in the Big Ten, sorry, where the expectations are a lot higher than some of these other teams in okay year. So next up we have Iowa. So Iowa, a solid team here, I think should go in bubble. Yeah, bubble's a good spot. And I don't want this video to be so long, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit through some of these Big Ten teams. And here's a recap of where everyone went. So Purdue went in champ favorite. I think they're right on the same level as Houston. I would love to see them play each other. That would be awesome. Next up, sorry. There we go. Okay. None of them made it in deep run. I don't think any of them quite deserve that much, but I did put 3 teams in sneaky good. We have Nebraska, Northwestern, and Wisconsin. Then in bubble, I put Iowa and Minnesota. In okay year, I put Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State, and Rutgers. Those are all solid teams that just missed out on the playoffs. And then rough year, we put Maryland, sorry, and then Dogwater, we put Michigan. They're very bad, trust me. BYU is 20-8 right now, so they're having a very good year. They're not in bubble. I would put them in sneaky good with some of these other teams. Charlotte, who's way better than I thought they were. They're 17-10 right now. I think I would put them on the bubble. I don't know if they actually are. So actually, let's put them top of okay here because I don't think they're in the bubble. For these two Atlantic 10 teams, we have Dayton in sneaky good, and we have Davidson down here in rough year. We had a very big cluster of whatever conference this is. I believe this is, let me check real quick. Big East. So we had like 10 Big East teams, pretty much all of them in a row here. So let's just go over this real quick. I already ranked them. I put UConn in championship favorite, Marquette in deep run. I put Creighton in sneaky good. I put Butler, Providence, Seton Hall, and Villanova all in the bubble. Then I put St. John's in okay year, Xavier in rough year, and then we have 2 dogwater teams. DePaul is 3-25, and Georgetown is like 9-20 or something. So there is the Big East. Oh, sorry, I forgot to pause the video. East Tennessee State, 15-15. I didn't even know they existed, to be honest with you. Let's put them in rough year. George Washington, the Revolutionaries. That's a crazy name. Let's put them in rough year. They're like 14-16 or something like that. Now Gonzaga started off the year pretty rough, but they've slowly sneak in, whatever that word is, up to the rankings. They're like 22 right now. So that would pretty much put them in sneaky good somehow. They were like not even in the tournament for a while there. Holy Cross is 9-21. I think that should put them right there in dogwater. They're not quite the worst of dogwater. I think DePaul is, so let's put them up there. But Holy Cross is another of our dogwater teams. Iona is 13-14. Let's put them in rough year. And let's be honest, you guys don't really care about a lot of these teams, so I'm going to go ahead and rank these on my own, and I'll show you where I put them. I'm going to put Miami, Ohio here in rough year. And next up we have Montana, Murray State, I think that is, New Mexico State, Ohio, Arizona State, and then I'll come back once we get to Arizona. And here we are. I just ranked some of these new teams in here. Murray State, Miami, Ohio, LaSalle. All of them here. Arizona State, New Mexico, Ohio, Montana, and Liberty. All in okay year. And I think that's the highest I've put anyone recently. But Arizona. Now, I'm a little torn here. Do we put them in deep run with some very good teams? Carolina, Kansas, Iowa State, Duke, Baylor, and Marquette. I think they're very similarly ranked to. I think I'm going to. I think we have to put them top because they're about as close as you can get to champ favorite, but I think they are in deep run. So I just went through and ranked about every single one of the Pac-12 teams. So, but there are some very good teams in here. So I wanted to show you guys where I put everyone. Okay, first up we have Washington State. I put them at near the top of sneaky good. If you watch my sleeper video, I have them very high up and maybe winning a title. Probably not, but you never know. I've watched them. They are very, very good. We have Oregon in bubble. And we have an okay year. We have Washington, Utah, and UCLA. In rough year, we have Oregon State, Stanford, and USC. And now we are going to some of the, I don't know what you would call these. I call them the fancy schools, like Penn, Princeton. I don't even know. No, that's Pepperdine. That's Princeton, Richmond. We have some really weird schools here that you might not have even heard of. They're very obscure, but they're still in D1, so we're going to rank them. Okay, so I went ahead and ranked a lot of these. Turns out a lot of them are in the Ivy League, which are more of the expensive, fancier schools, older schools as well. And I found out something crazy. The number one team in the Ivy League is Princeton, and they're 21-3, making them have one of the best, tied for the best record in NCAA, and I believe they're tied with UConn. But they are in the Ivy League, so, and they're not even in the rankings. But I did have to put them at the top of sneaky good because you never know. 21-3 is kind of crazy, and a lot of other fancy schools are down here. Penn and Pepperdine are both there. And let me see, did I miss anyone? I don't think I did. Yeah, I think that's everyone I ranked. Penn and Pepperdine are down here. All right, Richmond is in first in the Atlantic 10 right now, and that means they're ahead of Dayton. I put up here in sneaky good. I feel like Richmond should be just ahead of them. I didn't know Richmond was that good. They're 21-7. And as you can see, we're getting very close to the end. So just stick to the end. Stick to the end to see all of these other teams get ranked. As you can see, there's still some pretty good teams in here. All right, San Francisco isn't ranked or anything, but they are 22-8. But they did just play Gonzaga, and they got absolutely destroyed. So I can't put them with Gonzaga up there. I will put them in bubble, though, because I believe they are on the bubble. And I don't even know what this team is. I'm going to have to look it up. And it turns out they're the Santa Clara Broncos. I've never heard of them. They do have an above 500 record, so I think we should put them at the bottom of okay year. San Diego State having a very good year. They're ranked 20th in the country right now. So I think if you're ranked, you've got to go and sneaky good at least. So that's where I'm going to put them. And next up, we have a team I'm very high on. Alabama. You need to watch out for Alabama. They are the fastest team in the country speed-wise. Obviously. I think I'm going to put them ahead of sneaky good. I'm going to put them in deep run. They have a very big game coming up. I believe they're playing Houston. I could be wrong there. But they are very good. I honestly could see them pulling an upset. Okay, correction. They're playing Tennessee, who's number 4 in the country, so still a very good team. Arkansas is 14-14, which I am honestly going to put them in rough year just because of how they're at the bottom of the SEC, the very bottom. Only Vanderbilt and I believe it was Missouri. Those are the only ones below them. We have a very good team coming from the SEC here. We have the 11th ranked Auburn Tigers, and I think I should put them top of sneaky good. They're definitely better than Princeton, that's for sure. And Florida Gators are up next. And I'm starting to realize how good the SEC is. We have another ranked team in the SEC, and they're actually 6th in the SEC. So that means there's at least 6 ranked teams in the SEC. I know I'm saying SEC a lot, but oh my goodness, they are very, very good. Definitely the best conference at the moment. I think I'm going to put them towards the bottom of sneaky good. Now we have 11th in the Southeastern Conference, I think is what I'm going to say from now on. We have Georgia. So they might be 11th, but they're actually 15-3. We now have a very good team coming from the Southeastern Conference. Once again, Kentucky. I'm going to put them in sneaky good. I like them a lot. Let's put them towards the top, actually. Maybe ahead of Memphis, actually. Let's swap them in Memphis. Okay. Oh, we can't see. Okay, I just swapped them in Memphis up there. Only Princeton and was it Auburn is ahead of them. So now we have LSU. LSU is 15-3. They're very middle of the pack right now. They are a little better than Georgia, so I guess we put them right there. And now we have Missouri, the worst team in this SEC. And I'm going to put them in Dogwater, but the top of Dogwater. Oh, I think I'm doing this backwards. Let's put them there. Them there. These are the 2 worst teams in the country so far. I don't think we're going to get any worse than them as it stands right now. Now we have another Southeastern Conference team who's not. Sorry, I got cut off there. They aren't ranked, but they are still very good. They're in March Madness right now. So this is Mississippi State. They're not in the bubble even. They're in sneaky good, I think, is where they belong right now. Maybe the bottom of it though. And next up we have Ole Miss. A very similar team to them here is Ole Miss, who is in the tournament right now. And I think we put them right below them in sneaky good. Sneaky good's starting to get very big right now. And I think I'm going to go through these and just pick out the very good ones. And then I don't think you guys care too much about any of these other ones. Like, I don't think anyone cares where St. John's University is going or Northern Iowa or what even is that? I don't even know. But let's go through that real quick. South Carolina is a very good team. Another one out of the SEC. They are very good this year. They've been solid every year, but this year it just feels different. Put them in sneaky good. Now we have a team, number 4 in the country. That could get them. Could that be championship favorite? It could be, honestly. Ooh, at least top of deep run. Well, we have 3 teams. If we put 4 teams in the championship favorite category, those are pretty much the 1 seeds right now. 4 teams in the championship favorites. You pretty much have to be a 1 seed in order to be a championship favorite. Now, let's pick out the other really good teams. St. Mary's is a solid team. They're ranked right now. I put them high in sneaky good right there. Yeah, that's good. Looking around here. Got most of the good ones done. I just want to put Vanderbilt in dog water real quick. They are absolutely terrible. So I'll finish these for you guys. And I will be back when we're completely done. Real quick, I'm not quite done yet, but I just found out Utah State is 23-5. So I want to rank them with you guys real quick and put them very close to the top of sneaky good. I think behind Kentucky is a good spot for them. All right, but I'll go finish the rest of these. And I have now completed our complete list of where all of the wow, I can't even speak anymore. D1 teams go. This was a very long video. So if you did make it to the end somehow, subscribe right now because there's no way you just watch 23 minutes for nothing. So I will see you guys in the next one. This one's going to take a long time to put all this footage together. So subscribe. We're very close to 200 subscribers. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good day. God is first. See ya.